Hello everybody, this is Bird Brain. We are nerdy for the birdies. Of course, the Philadelphia Eagles have begun the first steps of their 2025 offseason, and already a big announcement has been made that the Eagles have hired their new offensive coordinator after Kellen Moore became the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, and it is Kevin Patullo, the former passing game coordinator of the Eagles. And they've also hired a new passing game coordinator in Parks Frazier to join the staff. And there's a lot of concern here, I've seen from fans, some cautious optimism, some fans worrying about the fact that this team could regress. Are they going to run the Nick Sirianni offense? A lot of different things. So let's kind of talk about the hiring a little bit. This won't be a very long video, but I think this is going to be a good opportunity for all of us to kind of really get some facts through before we have any panic. So, really, the first question is, why Kevin Patullo? Why did the Eagles go hire him instead of some innovative offensive mind on another team? And I think it goes back to something that we as fans have clamored about, and Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of our team, obviously has clamored about, and that is, we want continuity. It's hard to build continuity with foreign offense for a quarterback if the OC is constantly changing year after year after year after year after year. That is something that Jalen has made very abundantly clear he doesn't like, and we as fans aren't the biggest fans of. Well, the problem is when you're a good team like the Eagles and you win a Super Bowl, people are going to want people on your staff because they want to try to emulate what Super Bowl teams do. Right, Kellen Moore took a couple coaches with him to New Orleans. Who knows if he takes a couple more? But that's really the nature of this business. It's always trying to find ways to build off of what other people have done really well and constantly hiring, other coaches, bringing in other players and all this other stuff. We saw this, we see this all the time with the Niners. I mean, how many times have coaches been poached from Kyle Shanahan, whether it's his DCs or his OCs, like Mike McDaniel? We saw for a while, Robert Saleh left the Niners. He's back now. We saw, D'Amico Ryans, he left the Niners. So these guys have gotten jobs elsewhere. You see with the Rams, Kevin O'Connell, Zach Taylor, these former coaches from underneath McVay go out and become head coaches elsewhere. We see this all the time. And when you're one of the better teams in the league and you have a good coaching system or really good coaches within your system, people are going to constantly hire them. And I think with these hirings, it kind of spells what the Eagles would like to do, which is promote from within and try to grow it that way. And that's kind of what the Niners have done. Kyle Shanahan is the offensive genius of his offense. And the Eagles are hoping to kind of have that same system and idea, not the Shanahan system literal, but the idea that hey, Nick Sirianni's the culture guy. He's the consistent. If we can bring up offensive guys that can take pieces from each other and build off of that and then create consistently innovative systems from within, then we don't have to worry about looking outside the organization and completely tearing down the system, tearing down the structure, changing the play calls, everything that, Jalen Hurts doesn't like. And I think that's what they're trying to do. So you keep Kevin Patullo, someone who's been in the building, someone who is a part of game planning. He's the passing game coordinator. He's a huge part of that aspect of it. So he's worked with Nick, he worked with Kellen, Brian Johnson, Shane Steichen, all these other offensive guys when they were here, and he's going to take pieces of all of their offenses and find ways to implement it to make the system the best fit for Jalen Hurts. And I think, that's really all we can want as fans. People have to understand, right? This is what happens to a lot of good teams, is you're going to constantly be poached. And the fact that I see fans already signing off next year saying this team's not going to be that good because they're going to run the Nick Sirianni offense and it's all going to be terrible. 2 days ago, you were bragging about potentially going on a three-peat and saying that you had one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Now you change coordinators and all of a sudden everything's out the window? I mean, both things can't be true. The truth of the matter is, you're going to be retaining at least 10 of your 11 offensive starters, depending on what they do with Mekhi Becton. And all the 10 of those guys are veterans. None of these guys are rookies. The least tenured guy on that offense is probably Cam Jurgens, who only has one season starting at center. Right, but he's been in the league this would be now his fourth season coming up. Jahan Dotson, this is his second year for the team, but Saquon Barkley, been in the league, Jalen Hurts, been in the league, Devontae, AJ, Lane, Jordan, Landon, like everyone, they've all been in the league, they all know this. So, I don't expect the terminology to change too much, I just expect them to kind of build upon what they did last year and add some more ideas and innovations to it. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel, we saw what worked last year, and frankly, I think that's the best thing for this team. So, I'm not really all that panicked about this signing, or this hiring, I should say. This is, if you want to build continuity and remain one of the best teams in the league, you have to be able to handle stuff like this. So we can't panic at the first sign of adversity. So for that reason, I'm optimistic about the hiring of Kevin Patullo. I'm curious to see what it looks like. The biggest concern for me is just him handling play calling, because that's something he hasn't done before in the NFL, but he's also been around the NFL for a while. And I'm sure, we'll probably see a bit in the preseason, maybe a couple of reps with the starting offense in the first preseason game, just to give them some reps to understand, hey, this is what it's going to be like in-game calling plays, and see how well they can communicate with each other and get set and make the right reads. So, I think they can do that, and we'll be fine. So with that, this has been Bird Brain. Hope you guys enjoyed being nerdy for the birdies. I'll be back with you guys with a video tomorrow. Fly Eagles fly. See you around.